Good, let's move ahead. So we were there into the calculation of internal rate of return last time around. We had solved. This time around we'll be solving it by using the Excel. But yes, we'll not forget that what was entire manual process was at that time. Let's start reading the question first of all. Wherever you will require some amounts to be put, I'll give you some time, say 1 minute uninterrupted, to write it down somewhere in your Excel file. Not everything is required for you right now from this. So just read it out and then we'll start the workings. Mr. Harshil Mehta wants to build one software named Scheme 1992, which can generate arbitrage opportunities in fraction of seconds. Well, this arbitrage opportunities is nothing but some trading opportunities you generate from buying and selling of shares, Now, what is this arbitrage? It is basically taking the advantage of inefficiency in the market. Arbitrage may be of various kinds. It's a riskless profit. You just identify some loophole in a system and you enter a trade. If I give you example, earlier we didn't have this much this much capable computers, supercomputers, and the processing systems were very slow at that time, unlike today. So at that time there were some inefficiencies in the market. One share may be priced differently at two stock exchanges. One may be at NSE, another may be at BSE. So the exchange at which the price is lower, the software will particularly identify the trading opportunity there and will purchase the stock from there. And at the exchange where the stock prices would be higher, it will automatically put the sell order over there. So earlier it used to happen, but nowadays we have got tremendously capable systems, meticulously prepared, softwares. So nowadays such kind of inefficiencies are not there, but still in the currency market, such kind of opportunities may be generated in the valuation. So, $1 may be equal to some amount of rupee, 1 rupee may be equal to some amount of euros. So in that conversion of currencies and their rates, there may be some arbitrage opportunities. So you may just purchase something at one place and you will sell something at another place by using this market inefficiencies. In spite of the fact that we have got now the supercomputers, super fast processing systems, these inefficiencies cannot be eliminated entirely. Anyway, let's move ahead. The software is so advanced in nature that it will take 3 years for the development. Okay, he will spend the following amounts on a yearly basis at the end of each year to build this software. Okay, year number 1, 2, and 3. So these are my cash outflows, and then the cash inflows are expected below for next 5 years, starting from year number 4. 150, 250, 350. Sorry, it's not 350, it's 35 lakhs, and then it is 40 lakhs. What we are supposed to find? Let's see that. Find the NPV and PI of the project if required rate of return is 15% in initial 5 years and 18% in next 3 years. Okay, that's something different we are seeing right now. Also find the IRR of the project, compare IRR and NPV and write your observations. Well, we'll see what to do with that. Let's start preparing part 1 here. Acha, we want to do it by using the Excel. Fine, let's move ahead. So first we find the NPV. NPV is equal to PVCI minus PVCO. PVCI will be required first. So I'll be requiring the serial number of cash inflows. Obviously, the year numbers can also be written instead of serial number there. Then I write cash inflow, discounting factor, and the last one will be PV. Do not forget that these years are starting from year number 4. I'm just copying that and pasting it down over here. In your case, you will have to write it manually, because you don't have this amounts written in your worksheet. Giving you half minute, please write it down. It's 15 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 35 lakhs, and so on. Okay, sir, the problem here is that the discounting factor will get changed after year number 5, because for initial 5 years the required rate of return is 15 percentage, and for next 3 years the required rate of return is 18 percentage. Now that's a possibility, no? I mean, why not? Because see, if you try to see the product life cycle or a brand life cycle, company's own survival cycle, there may be a different rate of expectations at the different point of time. So say if you analyze the product life cycle like this, so in the initial number of years where the company is growing, you may not have great expected rate of return from the project. So for the initial number of years you may have 10 percentage of return. Then once this project reaches to a saturation level, at that time you will be getting the maximum benefits out of this. Say 20 percentage rate of return requirement may be there at that time. And once project officially enters into this diminishing stage of life, so again you may further lower down your expectation to say 5 percentage. So it's not always wise to take one discounting rate for the entire lifetime of the project, because certainly it's definitely possible that you may have the different rate of requirement for at the different point of time in the project life, right? So that's what the case is in this case. For the 5 years we have 15 percentage required rate of return, and for next 3 years we have 18 percentage required rate of return. So accordingly the discounting factors will be calculated. So first of all, I'm writing the rates somewhere. For 5 years it's 15 percentage, right? For next 3 years it's 18 percentage. Let's start finding the discounting factor. Do not forget that we are there into year number 4. Year number 4, it's anyway 15 percentage only. So the formula equals to 1 divided by, in bracket, 1.15 raised to, closing the bracket, then raised to sign 4, right? Because 4th year's discounting factor will be applicable in that case. Cash inflows and outflows are occurring at the end of the period. Pressing enter. For the next one, it will obviously be 5 years, but it will automatically take it. We are not supposed to calculate that again. Just copy and paste it down. But from here, my friends, the problem is that it is raised to 18 percentage, right? So what we'll do is, see, even though your expectation is changing to 18 percentage from 6th year onwards, you are not changing your expectations for the initial 5 years. So 30 lakhs rupees, which you are going to receive in 30 lakh, receive in 6 years time horizon, for that 30 lakhs, for initial 5 years, it's gonna be 15 percentage only. But for 6th year, it will be 18 percentage. So mathematically, for the initial 5 years, the required rate of return is going to be anyway 15 percentage only. It's only the year number 6 where my required rate of return is reaching to 18 percentage. So again, for the next one, 1.15 raised to 5. But for the 7th year, 18 percentage will be taken twice, right? For the 6th year as well as for the 7th year. So it will be looking like 1.18 raised to 2. Similarly, for the 8th year, mathematically it will look like 1 divided by 1.15 raised to 5 multiplied by 1.18 raised to 3. So it's basically 8 years. I hope you are getting my point. So you may use this formula manually in the Excel, or
Hello, sir.
yes.
You are not audible. In between, there is some problem.
Okay, so at what point of time you couldn't?
When you started with this formula in Excel,
Acha, couldn't you get this 1.18?
that's clear, sir. When you started with that is equals to sign.
Okay, good, good, fine, no worries. So starting with the sign of equal to, my friend. See, there are two ways. You may have a shortcut for this, or you may mathematically write this formula, 6th year's formula. 1 divided by 1.15 raised to 5 multiplied by 1.18 raised to 1. So how can you do it? 1 divided by 1.15 raised to 5 multiplied by, now I'm putting this in a big bracket, so that Excel will be able to identify that it is the entire denomination. So I'm inserting a big bracket here, or you may just insert a small bracket as well, fine. Multiplied by 1.18 raised to 1, right? So in bracket 1.18 raised to 1, or you may just write 1.18 raised to 1 will be anyway equal to 1.18 only. Now I can close this second bracket. Excel will be able to identify that, okay, that is my entire denominator. Pressing enter, so you get this discounting rate. That's a manual entry. But what you can do is, the earlier discounting rate you have found, no? This one you have found, right? So I'm pressing the sign of equal to, selecting the last one, which is of 5th year, divided by 1.18, because 5 years discounting effect has already been taken, right? Only 6th year's discounting effect is pending to be taken. So what I'll do is, this must be divided by 1.18. So that will again give me the same answer. Equal to earlier one. Again, we will be doing the discounting of 7th year. So again, that may be written like 1.18 sorry, D40 divided by 1.18. Or you may manually enter this formula too. Then also it's perfectly okay. You will get the same discounting rates equal to the earlier one. Now, why I'm selecting the earlier one? Now I'm supposed to give the effect of only 8th year, because 7 years effect is already been given in the earlier one's discounting factor. So D41 divided by, in bracket, 1.18. I hope that sounds pretty clear to everyone. This discounting factor calculations will be extremely useful to you when it comes to financial modeling, financial analytics as well. At that time, we are supposed to find the valuation of the business by taking into account the present values of their future cash inflows. So at that time too, the same thing will be applicable. Pressing enter. Once we get the discounting factor, then it's pretty easy to find the PV, right? This inflow multiplied by discounting factor. Just copy it and drag it to all other cells. I'm giving the borders to it. Let me just do the summation of that. So that will be my PVCI. May I have a confirmation from all the students that you have got everything till now? Is everyone clear fundamentally related to everything we have discussed? कहीं पे कुछ भी क्वेरी हो तो बता दीजिए बेटा, कुछ भी क्वेरी हो तो. Received confirmation only from Jaydev, Vaishali and Mr. Vishal. Mr. Saraswati as well. Amazing. Nice to see that. Miss Shreya. Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Miss Saraswati. I'm really sorry. Who am I to change the gender of everyone? मैं कौन होता हूं? मैं कह दूं तथास्तु और लोगों के जेंडर चेंज हो जाए, ऐसा तो कुछ होगा नहीं. But Saraswati used to disappear for last 3 to 4 sessions. Just like the river Saraswati, which got disappeared from the Hindu mythology. Where you were, Saraswati, for last 2-3 lectures? You were not very interactive. Okay. PVCO. Now, while finding the PVCO, okay, PVCO, it's anyway given to us. Just straight away take the years over there, copy and paste it somewhere. Let me remove this, otherwise some people will be like, sir, ये क्या कर रहे हो आप? क्या कर रहे हो? क्या करूं बेटा? आप ही बताओ क्या करूं? ये इतनी स्पेस लेता है तो आप ही बताओ क्या करूं? Okay, discounting factor is supposed to be found over here too. Just copying that and pasting it over here. For the initial 3 years, it's anyway going to be 15% only, right? So 1 divided by 1.15 raised to selecting the cell where 1 is written. So you won't have to write 2 and 3 manually, because Excel will anyway take the relative referencing. For the next one, it will take 2, and for the next one, it will take automatically 3. So pressing enter and finding the discounting factor. So equals to cash outflow multiplied by the discounting factor. Again, copying that and pasting down to other sales. We get PVCO, sorry, equals to doing the summation of all the PVCOs. Now to it's halwa. What is it? Halwa. NPV equal to PVCI minus PVCO. Now equals to, now see please, if you will put the sign of minus, no, then minus minus will become plus. So I'm using the sign of plus deliberately. because PVCO is anyway there in a minus. And again, if you put the sign of minus here, then minus minus will become plus. Eventually, we want to deduct this PVCO only from the PVCI, but just because it's there in a minus, we cannot put the minus sign here in the formula, right? Selecting the PVCO. So that's coming at 222, 657. क्या बताओ, क्या बोलते हो बेटू लोग, छोड़ दिया जाए कि मार दिया जाए? बोलो इस प्रोजेक्ट के साथ क्या सुलूक किया जाए? शुड इट बी एक्सेप्टेड? Oh, so I have received justification from Miss Saraswati that why she is. Okay, fine, understood. Others, what should we do with this project? NPV is coming positive. Should it be accepted or rejected?
Accepted.
Absolutely correct. Accepted. Then the next one is PI. It is also a profitability index. Sir, what is this profitability index? In every lecture, you are just coining a new terms. That's very easy to understand, nothing to be worried about. Profitability index. If the NPV is Chinky of Kapil Sharma, then profitability is the Minky of Kapil Sharma. Because both are twin sisters. You know why? Both are looking same. NPV is equals to PVCI minus PVCO, and profitability index equals to PVCI divided by PVCO. समझ लो ये चिंकी है ना, उसके ऊपर और ये से नीचे दोनों तिल आ गए तो डिवाइड हो गया, तो PVCI divided by PVCO. So that is also a profitability index. You are not supposed to do any further calculations. Just select this PVCI divided by this PVCO, and let me use the sign of minus, because the answer is of profitability index is always in positive. You know, here in this case, Excel cannot identify that it's a inflow or outflow. That's why we have taken it. Otherwise, when we do the manual calculations, we generally take outflows as the positive figures only, and at the end we reduce it from the PVCI. Now, how do we interpret this profitability index? Try to understand, everyone. Please put the focus, utmost attention. Sir, if the PI is more than 1, then only the NPV can be positive, right? If the PI is more than 1, that means NPV is positive. In other words, I can say NPV is more than 0. So if the PI is more than 1, then you should accept the project. If the PI is less than 1, then you should reject the project. I hope that sounds clear to everyone. It's basically the same conclusion as the NPV. But this profitability index suffers from some deficiencies. Can someone tell me what is the deficiency with the PI? Why it is not pretty much reliable in comparison with NPV? NPV is relatively very good for the interpretation and analytical aspects, but PI is not so good. Somewhere it may falter. Where it may falter? Can someone tell me, please? Inviting your interaction. Will anyone say something? Where this PI may not be very much useful? Okay, fine, no worries. Let me do it. Say there is one company called Bahubali Limited. and there is another company called, say, Chintu Limited. Now, the PVCI of one of the projects of Bahubali Limited is 15 crores. And PVCO is 8 crores. And there is another company incorporated in the area of Rajkot, Chintu Limited, whose PVCI is, say, 1 lakh and PVCO is 50,000. So what will be the PI of both is? PI of Bahubali Limited will be 15 divided by 8 crores. So that's going to be 1.875. And the PI of Chintu Limited will be 2 times. It can also be interpreted like your cash inflows are 2 times of your cash outflows by taking into account the present values. Now, higher the PI, better it is as per the profitability index. But what's the problem with this? Now, can you identify the problem here? Project is. That's how we generally. Then what's the issue? Will anyone try? Okay, see, it ignores the magnitude of scale, the scale of operations at which these companies are operating. Can you compare 15 crores of PVCI with 1 lakh of PVCI? It will be great injustice with 15 crores of PVCI, right? Bigger and bigger magnitude of scale you have, my friends, lower and lower percentage of return you will have. Those who are already there into wholesale market or dealing in some manufacturing of the goods, they are aware that if you are dealing in too much of quantity at the greater magnitude of scale, at that time the profitability margin reduces to the great extent, right? The can of oil which you purchase from the market, retailer may have a profitability margin of say 10 to 20 rupees on per dibba, but at the same time wholesaler will have hardly 4 to 5 rupees on per can profitability margin. Even manufacturers would be having even lesser than that. So higher and higher magnitude you have, lower and lower your profitability margin will be. But in absolute numbers, if you compare the NPV of both the projects, so that is the biggest problem with PI. Oops, I'm not audible again or what? I don't know why this connectivity issues are occurring. Is it audible now, Saraswati? Okay, thank you so much. I just asked one thing, that are you clear with whatever the things we have done here, all of you? The criticism of, okay, I am really sorry. Some certain things are beyond my control. I don't know that where this connection is losing. As far as the PI is concerned, is everyone okay with that? Should I explain it further, please, everyone? Received confirmation from Mr. Mitesh. Okay. Mr. Jaidev too. Good. Good. So in short, PI ignores the magnitude of scale of operations. Anyway, that's a one thing. Now what's the requirement? We have found PI and NPV both, right? IRR is supposed to be found. Now IRR is pretty easy. You use the formula like this. We had already done it in the last session. I am again reiterating that the manual formula of the IRR is like R1 plus NPV at R1 divided by NPV at R2 multiplied by R2 minus R1. Now one thing is clear, that at 15% required rate of return, and in the next 3 years you had taken 18%, right? So 15 and 18, at that time too the NPV was coming positive. Now what is this IRR? IRR is a point where NPV becomes equals to 0, right? That means the PVCI is equal to PVCO. So at 15% required rate of return too for the initial 5 years, you have got the positive NPV. That means my actual rate of return, the internal rate of return, will be higher than 15%. That is pretty much understood fact. So I may directly start it with 15%. So to find the IRR, what do I require? At one rate, my NPV should be positive, and at one rate, my NPV should be negative. Sorry, NPV at R1 minus NPV at R2. That is there in the denominator. So at one rate, my NPV should be positive, and at another rate, my NPV should be negative, multiplied by R2 minus R1. That is the condition to be satisfied, right? To use this IRR formula. So at 15%, we have got the positive NPV. Let's find it. First, we'll do the manual calculation, and then we'll use the IRR formula. So my first task is to find PVCI, or I may say NPV, at 15%. I'm just copying the amounts here. You may also copy it. I'm writing cash inflow only. Let's prepare just one table only for inflows and outflows both. Outflows are anyway denoted by minus sign, right? So we can pretty much understand this. So while finding the NPV, we'll reduce that. Okay, now we are supposed to find the discounting factor, right? At what percentage? 15%. Equals to 1 divided by 1.15, or you may link the cell where this 15% is written. So you may just have 1 plus this 15%, closing the bracket, raised to, link that with a year number. So you will get the discounting factor for year number 1. Copy it and paste it down to other cells. And sir, We have selected a cell right over there, D71. It should be locked like this, D71, because that cell will remain constant in all the formulas we are going to enter. So pressing enter, and now I can copy and paste it down to other cells. Or else you would have just manually written 1.15 in the denominator. Then also it would have been perfectly okay. So let me find the PV here, equals to the inflows and outflows multiplied by factor. So instead of cash inflow, I think I should write cash flow. It will consider both inflows and outflow, right? Copying this and pasting it down to other cells. Now anyway, all the outflows are there in minus and inflows are there in positive. So I may directly use the summation option, because in summation this minus will be taken care of as a minus. Closing the bracket, pressing enter. So you have got the NPV. We do PVCI minus PVCO, but even if you do the summation of all the negative and positive figures, then negative figures effect would have been automatically adjusted, right? So NPV is 418902. So that is a one rate, and rate is 15 percentage at which the NPV is coming positive. But sir, we should satisfy the condition, no? The condition is that at another rate we should have negative NPV. So can someone tell me what should we do to reach to the negative NPV? Whether the rate should be increased or decreased? We had discussed that in the last session only. Everyone? Expecting the interaction from all of you. Whether the rate should be increased or decreased? Very true, Mr. Mitesh. Very true, Ms. Titli. It should be increased. Now, it may further be a question in your mind that by sir, what percentage we should increase it? You may increase it by whatever the percentage, lower the gap between these two rates will be, no? More and more accurate answer you will have. But just to maintain a uniformity in all the calculations we do in the class, we will take it at 20 percentage. So NPV at 20 percentage should be found. Just copy this entire table, fine. Just copy this entire table, including the NPV from here to NPV, and paste it over here. Then write a discounting factor of 20 percentage here. Just before a discounting factor, title. Then go to a discounting factor 1, and you have given the reference to that cell, right? D71, which is remaining fixed. So what I'll do, I'll just cancel this off. And instead of it, I'll select this 20 percentage, which is D82 in my case. And now I will lock the cell by pressing the F4, because I want 20 percentage to remain constant in all this number of cells now, right? So pressing enter. Now you are just supposed to copy the formula and paste it down to other cells. Percentage, these are my discounting factors. And for the serial number, we want the relative referencing. So not doing no change over there. So our condition is satisfied, right? That at one rate we should have positive NPV, at another rate we should have negative NPV. So now I may start using the manual formula of IRR equals to R1 plus NPV at R1 divided by NPV at R1 minus NPV at R2 multiplied by R2 minus R1. And the derivation of the formula, this interpolation formula, was discussed in the last session. So I'm not going to that again. So R1 is the rate at which you had got the positive NPV. What is the rate? At 15% you had got the positive NPV, right? So 15 plus, I'm writing that in a decimal to avoid the confusion right now. NPV at R1. So what was the NPV at R1? 418903 divided by NPV at R1 418903 minus NPV at R2, which is again there in a minus. Do not forget that. So again minus 499,063 multiplied by R2 minus R1. So R2 is which one? 20%, right? So 0.20 minus 0.15 again in a bracket. Let me simplify this further. 0.15 plus 418903 divided by, in denominator minus minus will become plus if you open up the bracket, right? So let me just check it. What do we get there? That is 966 multiplied by 0.05. As per the Bodmer's theorem, let's do the division first and then the multiplication will happen. So you will get some rate. Let's see that what rate you will get there. And if you'll be doing it by using the IRR function of Excel, then so it's pretty much easy. Now you'll do this after some time. Let me just complete it over here. So equals to IRR, opening the bracket. I'm doing it by using the inbuilt formula of IRR in the Excel. Then the first argument is values, so you will have to just simply select the value from first to the last one, as simple as that. Just select the values from the first to the last one. Then guess is again not a mandatory requirement in the formula structure, which is the second argument of the syntax. Just ignore that. Closing the bracket, pressing enter. Let me increase decimals a bit. So 17.4 is the IRR I have got. It's as simple as that in the Excel. But when you do it manually, then you will have to do this entire procedure. Our focus should be manual as well as the Excel formulas, because we want to know the fundamental understanding as well behind this, right? Anyway, you'll be having another session at 9:50, so I'm just closing it down. I hope you've got everything. Please put your enrollment number as a mark of your attendance for this session. That's it from my side for the day. Bye-bye. Take care. Sayonara. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you all in the next session, guys.
Sir,
Yes, please.
my attendance is visible now.
अब आई 920003740009.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now I have got it. Thank you so much, Shreya.
Yes, sir. Thank you.